The Encyclopedia of Civilizations was the most comprehensive database in the known galaxy. It had been compiled over the course of 4,000 years by the Conclave, a governing body that sought to document every sentient species, every developed civilization, every significant culture that existed in known space. The encyclopedia contained entries on 47,382 distinct civilizations. Each entry contained detailed information about military capability, economic significance, technological advancement, cultural characteristics, and historical trajectory. The encyclopedia was the definitive reference document for understanding galactic civilization. The encyclopedia was also the most restrictive document in the galaxy. Being removed from the encyclopedia was not merely a political statement. It was a declaration that a civilization was no longer considered significant. It was an administrative erasure that, while not technically eliminating a civilization, effectively rendered it invisible to the broader galactic community. For centuries, only 8 civilizations had been removed from the encyclopedia. All 8 were extinct. So when the Conclave Assembly voted to remove Earth's entry from the encyclopedia, it was understood as a formal acknowledgement that humanity was no longer viable as a species. The decision to remove Earth came after 18 months of formal deliberation. The reasoning was straightforward: Earth had faced 17 consecutive military defeats. Earth's alliance with the coalition had collapsed. Earth's territory had been reduced by 87%. Earth's population had declined by 73% due to conflict and refugee departures. The Conclave's assessment was that humanity was in terminal decline. Within 5 years, the assessment predicted, Earth would cease to exist as a functional civilization. The Conclave, choosing to be proactive rather than reactive, decided to remove Earth from the encyclopedia before the terminal decline occurred. The removal was presented as a merciful administrative action. As High Warden North explained to the Conclave Assembly, Earth's removal from the encyclopedia is not a punishment. It is an acknowledgement of reality. Humanity faces extinction. Rather than allow them to slowly fade from galactic memory, we offer them the recognition that they have existed, that they have been documented, and now they can face their final days without the burden of encyclopedia status. The removal was voted through with 36 votes in favor and 11 abstentions. No species voted against it. The removal was finalized and disseminated throughout the galaxy. Earth was no longer in the Encyclopedia of Civilizations. The immediate consequence: the removal of Earth from the encyclopedia had immediate political and economic consequences. Trade networks that had been established with Earth were suddenly considered invalid. Diplomatic relationships that were predicated on encyclopedia status were automatically terminated. Financial instruments that depended on recognized status were liquidated. Earth suddenly found itself not conquered, not destroyed, simply removed from the recognized structure of galactic civilization. The message was clear: Earth no longer existed, at least not in any way that mattered to the broader galaxy. Commander Alexandra Park received the news in Earth Defense Command and understood what it meant. "We are dead," she said simply to her staff. "The Conclave has not invaded. They have not conquered. They have simply erased us from existence. We no longer matter. We are no longer part of the galactic community. We are ghosts." The realization that Earth had been officially deleted from galactic consciousness triggered something unexpected. Rather than despair, it triggered determination. The decision: in an emergency session of Earth's government, Commander Park made a proposal: "We have been removed from the encyclopedia. That removal is designed to be permanent. Every civilization that has ever been removed has stayed removed. Most of those civilizations ceased to exist shortly after removal." She paused. "I propose that we prove the Conclave wrong. I propose that we fight our way back into the encyclopedia. I propose that we become so significant, so undeniable, so relevant to galactic civilization that the Conclave is forced to re-add us." "How?" asked Council Member Zhao. "We have limited military capability. We have minimal economic resources. We have no allies. What would force the Conclave to restore our encyclopedia status?" Park smiled slightly. "We make ourselves impossible to ignore. The first step in Earth's plan was to redefine what significance meant. Rather than attempting to match the Conclave's military and economic measures of significance, Earth decided to pursue something else entirely: technological breakthrough. Every human scientist, engineer, and researcher was mobilized toward a single objective: develop a technology that no other civilization possessed. The target was ambitious but specific: achieve faster-than-light communication without the lag time that even quantum entanglement required. Develop instantaneous communication across any distance. For 2 years, humanities scientists worked toward this objective. For 2 years, Earth operated in complete obscurity, ignored by the broader galaxy, removed from all databases and registries. And then, on the 731st day after removal, Earth achieved it. The breakthrough came from a team of human physicists who discovered a theoretical loophole in quantum mechanics that allowed for true instantaneous communication without any detection method that the broader galaxy had developed. The technology was revolutionary. It was incomprehensibly advanced compared to existing communication standards. And it was completely unique to humanity. Earth suddenly possessed something that no other civilization in the galaxy had: a communication system that was faster, more reliable, and more secure than anything else in known space. The question was, how to leverage that advantage to force re-entry into the Encyclopedia. The broadcast Earth's response was simple and elegant. Every communication network in the galaxy simultaneously received a message. Not just a signal, but a complete data package containing the specifications for the instantaneous communication technology. The message was transmitted by Earth to every civilization in the known galaxy, offering the technology freely. "This is Earth," the message began. "We were removed from the Encyclopedia of Civilizations 731 days ago. We were declared insignificant. We were declared to be in terminal decline. We were erased from galactic consciousness." The message paused. "We have now developed a technology that exceeds anything currently available in galactic civilization. We offer this technology freely to all species. No conditions. No restrictions. No demand for payment or status." The message continued with complete technical specifications. "The technology is open source. Any civilization can implement it. Any species can develop it further. We do this not to dominate or to profit, but to demonstrate that humans are not extinct, not insignificant, and not deserving of erasure." The message concluded with the final statement: "We are re-adding ourselves to the Encyclopedia of Civilizations. This is not a request. This is a notification." The galactic response from the broader galaxy was immediate and unprecedented. Every major power began analyzing the technology. Every scientific institution began requesting implementation details. Every civilization that had previously considered Earth insignificant suddenly recognized that they had miscalculated fundamentally. The communication technology was not just advanced. It was transformative. It would allow for instantaneous communication across the entire galaxy, eliminating the communication delays that had constrained galactic civilization for millennia. And it had been developed by humans. Humans who had been removed from the Encyclopedia. Humans who were supposed to be in terminal decline. The Conclave Assembly faced an unprecedented situation. A civilization that had been officially removed from the Encyclopedia was now undeniably relevant to galactic civilization. High Warden North convened an emergency session to address Earth's re-entry claim. The Conclave Assembly debated the question of whether to restore Earth's encyclopedia status. Technically, Earth had no authority to re-add themselves. The encyclopedia was maintained by the Conclave, not by individual civilizations. The removal of Earth had been authorized by the Conclave and could only be reversed by the Conclave. But Earth had done something unprecedented: they had made removal irrelevant. By offering the instantaneous communication technology freely to all galactic civilizations, Earth had become essential to the functioning of the galaxy itself. Removing Earth from the encyclopedia would now be understood not as a reasonable administrative action but as a petty erasure of a civilization that had fundamentally advanced galactic civilization. The political cost of refusing to restore Earth's status was becoming untenable. The debate lasted 3 days. Finally, High Warden North addressed the Assembly. "Earth has demonstrated something crucial: that significance is not determined by military capability or economic power. Significance is determined by the capacity to contribute to galactic civilization in ways that others cannot. Earth has contributed something that no other civilization could produce. Earth has, in essence, forced the galaxy to recognize them through innovation rather than conquest." Earth paused. The question before us is not whether Earth deserves to be in the encyclopedia. The question is whether the Conclave has the moral authority to keep out a civilization that has contributed so fundamentally to galactic progress. The vote was called. 39 species voted to restore Earth's encyclopedia status. 8 abstained. 0 voted against restoration. Earth was re-added to the Encyclopedia of Civilizations. The timestamp on the Conclave's official restoration decision would later become the most significant detail of the entire incident. The Conclave voted to remove Earth at 0347:00 hours, Conclave Standard Time. Earth voted to re-add themselves at 0347:04 hours, Conclave Standard Time. The restoration had occurred 4 seconds after the removal. Not 4 days. Not 4 hours. 4 seconds. The implication was staggering. Earth had been working on the communication technology not for 2 years, as the official record suggested, but for much longer. Earth had been planning their re-entry into the encyclopedia before they had even been removed. The broader galaxy suddenly understood something about humanity that they had fundamentally underestimated. Humans planned for the future. Humans anticipated challenges decades in advance. Humans prepared for scenarios that seemed unlikely because they understood that preparation was how survival was achieved. The Conclave launched an investigation into how Earth had anticipated their removal from the encyclopedia. The investigation revealed that humanity had been working on the instantaneous communication technology for over 150 years. The project had been classified at the highest levels of Earth's government. The breakthrough had been deliberately timed to occur immediately after removal from the encyclopedia. Humanity had not been reacting to the Conclave's removal. Humanity had been preparing for it. Earth's scientists released a statement explaining, "We anticipated that the Conclave would eventually consider Earth insignificant enough to remove from the encyclopedia. We recognized that the only way to force the Conclave to recognize our value was to develop something that they could not ignore. We developed the instantaneous communication technology not as a reaction to removal, but as insurance against removal. When removal occurred, we were already prepared to demonstrate why removal was a mistake." The statement concluded with profound implications. The Conclave removed us because they believed they understood human significance. We re-added ourselves because humans understand that significance must be earned and defended, not granted by external authority. The broader implications: the incident of Earth's removal and 4-second re-addition to the encyclopedia triggered a fundamental reassessment of how significance was measured in galactic civilization. The Conclave realized that their encyclopedia, rather than being a comprehensive database of all significant civilizations, had been missing beings and innovations that occurred outside the Conclave's direct observation. Every civilization in the galaxy suddenly asked themselves, "Are we truly as significant as the encyclopedia suggests? Are there human-level innovations occurring in species we have dismissed?" The result was a transformation in how the galaxy assessed civilizations. Rather than using military and economic metrics exclusively, the galaxy began to evaluate technological contribution, philosophical innovation, and potential for future advancement. Earth's re-entry transformed the encyclopedia from a registry of powerful species into something more nuanced, an acknowledgement of diverse forms of significance and contribution. The cultural legacy: the incident became embedded in human culture as the moment when Earth reclaimed its place in galactic civilization. The 4-second interval became the symbol of human preparation and vision. It represented the human understanding that survival required not just responding to immediate threats, but preparing for challenges years or decades in advance. Schools taught the history of the encyclopedia incident to demonstrate how planning and innovation could accomplish what military force could not. The communication technology that had forced Earth's re-addition was freely adopted by galactic civilization and became the foundation for new networks and relationships between species. The unexpected question: decades after the encyclopedia incident, a young Conclave historian asked Commander Park a question: "Did you want to be re-added to the encyclopedia? Or did you want to prove that the encyclopedia itself was insufficient for measuring civilization?" Park considered the question carefully. "Both," she replied. "We wanted to demonstrate that humans were significant. But we also wanted to demonstrate that the Conclave's measures of significance were incomplete. The encyclopedia was never going to recognize innovation or philosophical contribution. It was designed to recognize only power. We wanted to force the galaxy to expand its definition of significance beyond power." The transformation of the encyclopedia underwent a fundamental restructuring in the decades following Earth's re-edition. Rather than entries focused exclusively on military and economic capability, the encyclopedia began to include sections on technological innovation, cultural contribution, philosophical advancement, and potential future significance. Civilizations that had previously been classified as insignificant were suddenly recognized for contributions the Conclave had been overlooking. The encyclopedia transformed from a registry of the powerful into a comprehensive database of all civilizations, including those that contributed to galactic culture in ways that did not involve military force. Earth's re-edition had not just restored one civilization to the database. It had fundamentally changed how the entire database functioned. The 4-second moment, the 4-second interval between Earth's removal and re-edition, became the most studied moment in galactic historical analysis. Scholars debated whether the 4 seconds represented perfect timing or deliberate symbolic significance, technological coincidence or proof of advanced planning, reaction to removal or activation of long-prepared contingency. The answer, revealed only decades later when classified Earth government documents were declassified, was that humanity had deliberately timed the re-edition to occur exactly 4 seconds after removal. The timing was chosen specifically because it created an impossible scenario. How could a civilization respond to something that had just occurred so quickly? The 4-second interval suggested that Earth had not been reacting to the Conclave's decision, but rather executing a plan that had been prepared long in advance. The 4 seconds became the most powerful statement Earth could have made. We anticipated this. We prepared for this. We are not victims of circumstances but architects of our own restoration. The philosophical shift. The encyclopedia incident triggered a philosophical shift in how the galaxy understood time, preparation, and the relationship between planning and destiny. If Earth could anticipate removal decades in advance and prepare a response that would execute perfectly 150 years later, what other civilizations might be engaged in similarly long-term planning? The galaxy suddenly recognized that it was living inside plans that other civilizations had developed decades or centuries ago. The future was not something that happened to you. It was something that you created through long-term preparation. Earth's re-edition to the encyclopedia was not seen as a victory in a moment. It was seen as the culmination of a 150-year plan that had been executed with precision. The epilogue, the permanent entry 1,000 years after Earth's removal and 4-second re-edition to the encyclopedia, the entry for Earth read, Human Civilization, Earth, Status, Permanent Entry Classification, Advanced Technological Contributor Significance Markers, Innovation in Communication Systems, Pioneering Development of Instantaneous Cross-Galactic Transmission Protocols, Demonstrated Capacity for Long-Term Strategic Planning Across Multiple Centuries. Notable achievement, in 731 CE, the human civilization demonstrated extraordinary planning capability by anticipating administrative removal from the encyclopedia and responding with a technological breakthrough that forced restoration within 4 seconds. This incident fundamentally restructured how galactic civilization assesses significance and contributed to the eventual reformation of the encyclopedia database itself. Cultural legacy, the human civilization's emphasis on preparation, long-term planning, and transformation of challenges into opportunities has influenced galactic philosophy for over 1,000 years. The entry was never revised again. Earth had not just re-added itself to the encyclopedia. Earth had fundamentally changed what the encyclopedia meant.